Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, another big show coming your way tonight. And I tell you what, I think winter sort of hit today, a little bit cooler than it was the last few weeks. No storms, although there was a little bit of rain as I introduced Adam Ring. Been up and down,
yeah, a little
cold
bit
for the next couple of days, and you're going camping.
Yeah, I thought I'd just time it perfectly with the weather that we've had, so that's going to be fantastic. But you know what, I won't be at work, Dave, and that's all that matters.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the Otways somewhere.
Are you going to lawn to the...
I'm going where I'm taken.
Yeah.
Secret location,
yeah, spot X.
There you go. Cara Cummings, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Cod opening last weekend was very good for you.
What a ripper.
How many fish?
15.
How many?
The four of us. So,
for what species?
cod and yellows.
Yeah, and one redfin you said.
And one redfin.
You kept that.
Still counts.
I would have kept the 15 others, but anyway.
Most were undersized.
All good. And special guest in tonight, Toby Jeavons. Toby is Manager of Marine and Estuarine Fisheries with the Victorian Fisheries. Welcome, Toby.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me along.
Yeah. Now, I reckon a week ago I had no idea what you do for a job. Now I know.
Now you know. Here I am.
Yeah, let's talk about it. You started 9 years ago as a fisheries officer, which I would have to say most people dream about, and then you moved on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a good position to be in.
Yeah.
Amazing journey through that time. 9 years ago, starting down in Apollo Bay. Pretty amazing location to be located.
Yeah.
Then
just quickly, how did you become a fisheries officer? What was your journey leading into being a fisheries officer?
Yeah, sure thing. So it all started for me on a trip with some friends. To a Pacific island named Kiribati is where my whole journey began.
Should we show the photos now then?
I reckon.
Okay, we've got some photos here that are going to tell the story. What? Leave that one up for a second, guys. What's this?
So this isn't probably what you envision when you think.
So that wasn't what I was expecting.
No.
You spin the globes with a few mates at home, and you say, "All right, where can we go where we're going to get a good surf fishing adventure?"
Yeah.
That's not what you expect to see, and ultimately, what I was confronted with.
Wow.
And it is really what provoked my passion in the area of fisheries management.
Yeah. Let's keep going through the photos.
So probably more so, this is a traditional fishing practice whereby they'd have the fish come in and as the tide changed, they'd get trapped and they'd be able to harvest. It was really impressive to see those traditional fishing practices. We got to experience some incredible fishing in the lagoons, chasing different varieties of trevally beautiful locations. This picture's again maybe not what you think of with your family adventure to the tropics. But
is it your home for about 8 years or something?
Yeah, this was the home. Yeah, the beard got longer, and Wilson, the old volleyball, started looking pretty good company.
Was it a massive mozzie net?
There's a massive mozzie net, yeah. So we're up on this remote island for 8 days, and as I said, we got to experience this awesome fishing, but ultimately we're confronted with some real challenges, with pollution from a number of land-based sources, overfishing and poor fishing practices over a long time. And I said, right, that's the area that I want to affect change in. Came back, started, I did a Master of Environmental Management at Melbourne Uni, and then found my way as a fisheries officer. And ultimately now I'm working with an amazing bunch of guys, making sure our coastal marine fisheries are sustainable and continue to give good opportunity for everyone like yourselves to get out there and have your catch on the weekend and to have...
You work on some pretty cool species too. We're going to talk about rock lobster and octopus. Oh, I don't know about octopus, but anyway, you're going to tell us how good it is apparently. But folks, let's have a look at what's been caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
All right, let's get into it. The snapper are
It's
on,
on.
Adam. You know, we
It's on.
we speak to. It's hard. We don't get to speak to the charter boat operators on the TV show, but on 3MP every Saturday morning we talk to them and we just hear the stories. It's amazing that
Yep.
the snapper fishery's just turned on. 3 degrees it went up in the bay in 2 weeks and just amazingly turned these fish on. Let's have a look at the first one. This was caught at the Corals. Liz Fincher, a lovely 4.8 kilo snapper. Well done, Liz.
It's a good fish.
Nice.
They get better. Alan Dalton, have a look at this, 7.59 kilo snapper off Elizabeth Island.
Beautiful.
Now, I wouldn't say Western Port's fishing that good for snapper. I mean, Steve
It's been
Johnson
a-
tells
yeah,
us
it's
every
been a
week it's
slow
been
start.
hard.
Yeah.
And we have this, I should, before we put the next photo up, this little competition going where, you know, Don Newman is 94 and what
Yep.
he likes to do is take some of his younger mates out. So, I try and challenge him sometimes. But anyway, Don took out 87-year-old Lindsay Bull. Have a look at that. And I'm telling you, Lindsay is actually 87, all right? So he got a lovely gummy out fishing with Don off Summers.
Summers. Oh, it's Donny's little spot X out
But
there.
last weekend I tried to outdo him, right? I thought, who's the oldest person I know?
Don Newman.
Yeah, Don Newman. Actually, yeah, Don Newman is. But for people that don't know, you know, when back in the old days, none of you will know 3 Years Ed, will you?
Nope.
No.
3DB radio shows? No. Okay. Yeah, it was John Vertigan. Well, we're about to go to Randwick. They're jumping at Randwick in 1 minute's time. Let's go back to Flemington where they're about to. John Vertigan was the voice of racing for. Oh, it must be 30 years. An absolute voice of radio for 60 years. And I took him fishing on the weekend and have a look at the King George whiting that we caught with John Vertigan. There he is,
Very good fish.
83 years old.
Nice.
John only fell asleep at the table in the cabin once
Oh, bless.
for the day, but he was so good. And we just had an absolute ball on the
a big
thing. And
day
well
out.
done, John. I know you had a great day. He turned 83 on Saturday, so
Happy birthday.
That's unreal.
good fishing
Good
off
fish too.
Rosebuck.
Yeah. And whiting fishing.
All right, anyway, Don outdid me. He got an 87-year-old, I only got an 83. All right, let's look at the young whippersnappers. Jackson Van Beek. Have a look at this lovely snapper off Mornington.
Good red.
Great photo.
Good photo too, yeah.
Got to be happy with that.
That's a keeper.
They continue on. Frankston's fired up as well. Stephen Jersek, I think it might
Yep.
be. Yep, Jersek. Lovely snapper.
Good on Steve. Good fish.
Look at the conditions.
Yeah, great.
They're my sort of conditions. That's why I go whiting fishing.
83-year-old conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Lachlan Neat, a lovely 4 kilo
Lachie,
off
that's a good
snapper
fish.
as well.
Yeah,
Nice
Port
little
Phillip's where the
conditions again.
snapper have really turned it on.
They have, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd love when Paul Hamer comes back one day, Toby. We've got to get him on the show and just ask him about Port Phillip versus Western Port. We've got this
Yeah.
Steve Johnson. He's been captain of Ace fishing charters for about 90 years himself,
Yep.
and he says that since the channel deepening,
stint.
the water sucks in all the snapper at Port Phillip and they don't go to Western Port anymore. That's his theory, isn't it? Like, adds on it. What do you say?
I just put it down to more tide. I think snapper have always been a sucker for tide. That's why Western Port's been so good. And now that there is a bit more tidal flow in Port Phillip,
Yeah, maybe
they're
they
probably not swimming past the entrance, especially if that's where there's better conditions for them to spawn too. So, yeah, I don't know, whatever theory.
The big ones are coming out too. Look at this, Terry Carr, 9 kilos.
Tezza, good fish.
Now, Terry sent a few photos, right? Because Terry's
That's
actually
massive.
quite a big bloke as well. And he had this little thing that was like 35 centimetres in his hand. It was about the size of the tail of that one. I didn't pick that photo to show Terry, but just
That's
fantastic.
a good fish, 9
Yeah,
kegs.
beautiful.
Right, let's get into the freshwater stuff. And look how big the bass are getting in Blue Rock. Paul Mosgerin.
That's a good fish. Yeah, when they're eating spinnerbaits like that
was
too.
gonna
That's,
say,
That's
yeah.
got to be I mean, he didn't give us the size, but that's got to be close to a 50 maybe?
No.
40 something?
it's hard to say because it's angled back a
I
little
know.
bit.
Good photo.
Anyway, it's a good bass.
It's a good bass.
Blue Rock.
Oh, look, I know who this bloke was
Rock's
hanging out with.
fine.
Archer Cummings. Have a look at this.
Ah, it's a familiar
55
name.
centimetre Murray cod at the Loddon River.
Nice.
He took out the juniors with that cod there,
Yeah.
cleaned up in the competition.
Isn't a 55 a keeper?
It
work.
is. That one went back.
What?
He's a catch and release fisherman, my son.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he's not getting brought up well. That's almost reportable, isn't it? Is it DHS?
Oh, come on. He
Well,
only eats
hang on.
redfin.
Hey?
He'll only eat redfin and flake. So whatever I cook,
That is
I have
abuse.
to tell him that that's what it is.
Yeah, but Mum also
No,
needs.
that's his choice, not mine.
All right, hang on, they're yelling
Mum
at us.
also needs
All
some
right.
content for.
Yeah, for cooking. Wait a minute, Murray,
Look,
can't
I
you?
do. Cod's not on my list yet.
Lucky last. Have a look at the bream coming out of Malakuta. Austin Dunlop. Well done, Austin. Absolutely beautiful fish. Well done, mate.
Cuda.
That is so
nice.
Well done.
I can't wait to get back there.
I reckon Kuta's fired up now.
Yeah.
If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au. Go Pies!
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
I told the producers to get rid of Chloe Malloy. She's not a has-been, but Collingwood. It's the Collingwood
Hey,
thing.
she's going to be a
Look
future
at you
premiership
changing
star,
your tone.
David.
Right. Coming up next, fisheries news, and we discuss rock lobster with Toby Jeavons next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing. Toby Jeavons from the Victorian Fisheries Authority in the house with us today, and going to talk about lobster very, very shortly. But before that, a little bit of news. All right, the first one is the headline, and I'll just read it. We've got a little website to show in a minute, but have your say on the VFA's draft stocking plan. By now you probably know we're on the way to stocking 10 million fish by April 2022, but that doesn't mean we don't have one eye on the future. To help shape what gets stocked between May 2022 and April 2023, we're asking for feedback on our 2022-23 draft stocking plan. Victoria has a wide range of waters suitable for wreck fishing, and many are stock creating exciting fisheries. Submissions for stocking proposals should consider factors such as recreational fishery performance, existing fish and ecological communities, and public access. There's a whole lot of info about it. Go to this website that will be on your screen now. There we go, vfa.vic.gov.au/fish stocking plan. If you just want to have a say, if you've got a local water, little in your housing estate, and there's plenty of them, isn't there? I mean, even to the point, we had that guy, the other week about, was it Spaven? And there's no Spavin. There's no walkway around it, but what sort of fish does he want in there? He's not catching trout. We need to maybe barramundi or something like that. Or,
That'll work out.
But anyway, get on that website, give some feedback. That would be good. Second bit of news. The headline here is large grants are open. Now this is an example of a really good grant. We'll show the photo here. The Warwick Nabil Angling Club was one of our large grant recipients back in 2016 when the club received $28,000 to install a fishing jetty on the, I'm going to say this wrong, Yarriambiak Creek. I think I got that right. People use it all the time, said Michael Evans, the president, for fishing or just enjoying the view because it's such a beautiful spot in the town. We've used the jetties for kids' fishing clinics and on a Sunday fishing competition day. It's just a great safe place for people to fish from. So that's just an example of what your fishing licences can fund. It's an easy process applying for the grant. It's definitely been worth it. The Yarriambiak Creek has received 9,000 golden perch each summer for the past few years and will receive another 9,000 this season, and Michael can't wait. The latest round, so if you're in a fishing club or you're part of council or whatever and you want to apply for a large grant, go to vfa.vic.gov.au/large grants. That's all you got to do. Easy process. You could end up with a jetty like that. And last one, Hooked on Portland is back. So it's so good, everyone, to be able to say, the events. We were talking about it earlier at dinner.
That's right.
Face-to-face meetings, they're slowly coming back. Events, the Victorian Fisheries Authority has held some great events. Kids Come Try Fishing Days, they'll be back shortly. But this one is a classic. It is Hooked on Portland. If you want a few tips and tricks for preparing your catch, get along to Hooked on Portland event on the 22nd and 23rd of January in 2022. Learn how to cook your tuna or whiting perfectly from TV chef Paul West and host Lee Rayner. Plus, we'll have fishing workshops, panel discussions to talk about all things fishing and cooking. And did we mention it's free? It is free. There's live music. The Pierce Brothers. Test your skills in the fishing competition, grab some freebies and enjoy the great Southwest. Here's the website if you want to get all the details. vfa.vic.gov.au/hooked on Portland. Plan your Christmas holidays and get down there after them. So there you go. That's the fisheries news. All right. Toby, you work on lobster, and the price of lobster coming down, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
No more China. You don't need to comment on diplomatic relationships or anything like that with China, but
It might be a little bit out of my area.
yeah. But exports have slowed right down, and there's a lot of people either going diving themselves or being able to buy them.
Yeah.
And I want to play just a little video now about your new tagging program, or it's like a tagging program without the tag. Have a look at this.
Victoria's recreational rock lobster tagging program was launched in 2017 to improve our understanding of the annual catch and sustainably manage stocks. Since then, more than 12,000 fishers have registered accounts contributing to catch information on over 23,000 rock lobster. In recognising the value of the catch information provided by thousands of fishers just like you, the program has been made ongoing so future generations can continue to enjoy this remarkable fishery. A new era of the rock lobster reporting program begins on 16 November 2021. The program is going digital through Go Fish Vic, a smartphone app from the VFA that revolutionises the collection of recreational fishing information. Go Fish Vic will streamline the process for reporting rock lobster catches by adopting digital tags. This will reduce the plastic footprint of the program by no longer requiring fishers to order, possess, and attach plastic tags to rock lobsters. To get yourself set up to catch and report lobster this season, download the free Go Fish Vic app from Google Play or the App Store, or access it via an online portal on the VFA webpage. The first step is to register your intent to be active for a fishing season from the home screen of the app, unlocking the ability to add digital tags to your lobster catch. Reporting is easy. Start a new trip, add your catch details, allocate a digital tag, and finish your trip. Go Fish Vic provides many benefits for fishers, including the ability to add photos, share catch details via social media, view personal catch statistics, and receive fishing news and updates. Reporting of rock lobster remains mandatory. You must report your catch within 7 days of landing, and you're required to register your intent to be active for each season via the app before targeting rock lobster. The requirement to tail punch rock lobsters remains unchanged, as do the size limits, bag limits, and possession limits. Your contribution through reporting rock lobster catches is building our capacity to maintain a healthy fishery. That's important for us as managers of the resource, important for you as fishers, and absolutely vital to the long-term sustainability of stocks.
Toby, just before we ask you some questions about that, Cara, I'm just adding rock lobster to this is the list. I don't know if you can pick it up, but you've done flounder. You've still got bream, chinook salmon, zebrafish, bronze whalers, yakkers, barber perch, and rock lobster to go. So, rock
lobster for Christmas. Let's do it.
That is added to the list. Yeah,
It's an interesting program.
Yeah.
The future.
Toby, this fits 100% in with your desire to have less plastic going to the ocean because no plastic tags anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So firstly, acknowledge and thank all recreational fishers for their massive effort in providing information on over 23,000 lobster.
I wrote that down. Is that serious? 23,000?
Yeah, over the last 4 years. So, that's information on 23,000 lobster that we otherwise wouldn't have had, and puts us in a far better position to be managing the fishery. So 100%. So moving from the program when it was first launched with plastic tags, we recognised a number of improvements and looking to do things better. One of those was go plastic free, so adopt a digital program, which we've now done by jumping on the Go Fish Vic platform.
Yep.
We wanted to make that more sustainable in terms of costs each year, so manufacture and distribution of tags made up a lot of the costs. And we wanted to make the platform much more engaging. So the new app, Go Fish Vic, was initially built to expand the Angler Diary program, so it can be used to report all species. And now we've built the rock lobster reporting program into that. And that allows you to keep, really use it as a tool to improve your fishing experience. So you can keep a record of all your catches, you can check out your own catch statistics, you can share your catches via social media. We're going to build weather reporting into there.
Oh, that's smart.
That's cool.
And really we share new fishing news, you can join clubs. So it's really a tool to help you improve your fishing experience.
I think I picked up there you've got to report your catch within 7 days.
Yeah.
I reckon if you got to about day 2 or 3, you're probably eating it. Is that too long? I mean, was that the same with the plastic tags?
So we've the existing program you needed to report your catch by the end of the season. So we have brought that into 7 days.
Okay.
It's just recognising that everyone has different access to technology. Not everybody has a smartphone. They might be away camping down the coast.
Yeah.
So people can come home. We've actually built a web portal as well that they can jump on to report their catch. And
if someone catches a lobster though, and they haven't reported it, they have to tail clip it or something, do they though? They have to do that immediately.
Yep. So the maintain the current bag limits and the requirement to tail clip your lobster as well. Yep.
Do you expect the same level of reporting through an app as plastic tags? Do you think?
Yeah, I do, Dave. Look, as I said, it's the old program. You put information in and it disappeared. This one, you can really use it as that tool to keep track of your catches through the season. We all like to look back and have it stored in one place, and you can make notes about your trip, who you went with, what the conditions were, and really start to build your own fishing diary over time. So that should provide much more incentive for people to use it for those purposes as well. As the data that's coming in is helping us to manage the fishery by accounting for total take from the stock now.
So the information that comes in, that's where it's going, that's what you're doing with it?
Yeah, so every year we set the total catch for our commercial fishery, so that's known, and now we have the total catch from our recreational sector, our rec fishers. Combine the two together, we know what's coming out of the resource every year and puts us in a much better position to make sure that when everyone gets out there, sticks their head under a ledge, they're able to pull out a nice big red lobster for the Christmas table.
They were good lobsters.
My
My mouth was watering.
Over 4 kilos, one of those.
We've got to keep moving on. Coming up next, product of the week. Cara heads into the kitchen to cook up a treat. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
All right, product of the week, and I'm here at Eildon Outboard Service with Tony, the owner. And Tony, we're going to talk about AGM batteries today. What do people use AGMs for?
Up here at Lake Eildon, there's big houseboat populations.
Yeah.
We use them for powering everything on the houseboat. As far as the house side of things go, they run inverters and can run the houseboats just like having a flat in Melbourne. So.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. So they've got washing machines, they've got stoves, they've got everything on board, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, not so. The stove's usually gas, but all your dishwashers, they've got.
They have dishwashers on houseboats.
Luxury apartments.
Wow. And of course, Lake Eildon's 86% at the moment and climbing, so it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
Now, this battery, I mean, that's a big battery. If someone has, because people do use these on their boats, as well, their normal fishing boats, say for their electric motors, their water snakes and so forth. What happens if someone has a 24 volt or a 36 volt electric motor? Can you just use a 12 volt battery?
You'd use 12 volt batteries, but you wire them in series to bring them up to the voltage. So if you that 24 volt system would have two together but wired in series.
Yeah.
And 36 volt, 3 together wired in series.
So that's what I was going to ask you. What is the difference between wiring in series and wiring in parallel?
Yeah, in series, each one you join onto the system adds another 12 volts to the system, whereas in parallel you can have 3 together, adding the capacity into the system.
Now with these big AGMs, what's the ideal way to use them and charge them? Do you just drain them right down to the bottom and then charge them up, or do you continually charge them? What do they do on a houseboat?
On a houseboat, we're very lucky. Most of the houseboats got a big solar system now, so they're charging constantly. You shouldn't really run them much below 50%, the battery. Yep. They'll be charging all the time, and you set the alarms on the inverters so that you don't discharge them too much.
Yeah, okay. What's the danger if you do discharge them too much? Is it just wearing away the life of the battery?
Yeah, it loses a bit of longevity, and it's just not good for the battery.
Yeah, okay. And ideally, you say you can go down to 50. Do you fully charge them? Should they be sitting at 100% all the time, or you can drain them a bit?
You can drain them a bit, but it's good for them to be fully charged.
I reckon overnight, when you haven't got your solar working, but I'd like my electric blanket on, is that okay? It's not going to, electric blanket's not going to drain one overnight?
No, depending on the size of your system, it won't. That's it. You only put back during the day what you've used overnight. So
there you go. A few handy tips. AGM batteries. I wouldn't want to lift this one. It's a big one. Imagine having 2 or 3 in a series. They're decent sized batteries. Thanks for the tips, Tony.
No worries at all.
Well, I learned a bit about AGM batteries.
It's a big battery.
That was a big battery.
Imagine running them 3 together.
I know. Wouldn't want to lift them in and out all the time. Anyway, we've got to jump into the kitchen with Cara. Have a look at this.
The recipe I'm showing you tonight may very well quickly become a weekly staple in your house. I have got blue grenadier fillets today, and we are going to turn these into some delicious fish Kievs. What I love about this recipe is that it's very few ingredients that are needed. We've got some garlic butter. Now I did make this myself earlier, but you could easily get this straight from the supermarket. I have rolled it into a log and I popped this into the freezer. It's going to work better using the frozen butter. If you haven't got time, don't worry too much. Some parmesan, egg, crack of pepper, and we'll finish off with some panko crumbs. For our Kiev mix, I'm just going to roughly chop up the fish fillets here, pop them into a food processor, and we're going to then add in our parmesan, crack of pepper, the egg, and blitz these through all together. So we've blitzed the fish, and we haven't gone too far, so we don't want a paste. We still want a bit of texture and a few lumps. So we kind of want it so that when we're squeezing it together, it is going to hold its shape. Whilst the garlic butter is still frozen, or semi-frozen, we're going to cut it up into maybe 8 portions. Now, depending on how much you like your garlic, it will depend how much you're going to put inside these Kievs. Now to fill our Kievs, so we'll divide that mix into 4. And just using your hands. I recommend having wet hands as this will stop them from sticking. So you're roughly just going to shape a ball. And we're going to open it up, pop in one of our garlic butter discs, and then form back around it so that it's nicely encased in a little envelope in there. And then you can roll it into either a ball or an oblong, sort of into the shape of a Kiev. I'm going to zest some lemon just into some plain panko crumbs. This will just give a nice little zesty hit and complement the fish nicely. The last step is to roll our little Kievs into the panko crumb mix. You don't need to worry about an egg mix, as the egg has already bound it together and that will hold and stick it together. So just give it a nice coating, and we're going to bake these. So in an oven at 180 degrees. The best thing about these, that you can make them ahead of time and freeze them just like this in their panko crumb. And then when you're ready to cook them, cook from frozen back into a hot oven, and probably about half an hour. So they're a great snack to have sitting in the freezer ready to go. Pop these into the oven and 15 to 25 minutes until they're golden brown. Well, you can certainly smell the garlic in these. I did finish them off just under the grill, just to let them go golden on top. Alternatively, you can pan fry them, but it's slightly healthier to have them in the oven. The big reveal. Let's see if these have worked. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, oozy garlic butter coming through. Exactly what we're after.
That's one of my favourite recipes. That is so good, Cara.
Well, we had to do a repeat. I was too busy cod fishing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is an old one, isn't it? We've repeated that one. Hey, Toby, so we talked about lobster, and I've seen it for $70 a kilo now, so it is coming down. But what other Victorian seafood should people be buying in the markets leading up to Christmas?
Good question.
Yeah, we're very lucky, guys, to have so much incredible seafood on our doorstep, whether that be whiting, rock-flatted, calamari from Corn Inlet,
Yep.
Our rock lobster, as you've mentioned, offshore scallops. You've got line-caught snapper from Port Phillip Bay. You've got mussels from Port Arlington. Plenty of opportunity to really get behind the Vic seafood industry this Christmas and put some seafood on your plate.
And help those guys out that can't export because of various reasons. There you go. Lots to look forward to. Coming up next, Kramer's mailbag, and we discuss octopus with Toby Jeavons next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsling's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The SEAMASTER Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a SEAMASTER battery in my boat. Make yours a SEAMASTER Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
All right, welcome back to Talking Fishing, and we've got Toby Jeavons in the studio tonight from the Victorian Fisheries Authority. Very shortly we're going to talk to you about octopus. But before then, a couple of mailbags, just want to get them out the road if I can. Hi David, this is from Richard. Richard writes, I took this photo at Tooradin today, which is on Sunday. I may be wrong, let's show the photo, but it seems to me that since boat ramps have become free, there has been more people parking in the boat parking areas and councils couldn't care less. Have seen it at a few different ramps myself. Have you seen the same? Maybe you could raise the issue with better boating. Love the show, from Richard. Richard, absolutely we are seeing this. Patterson Lakes, I saw it at Rye. It's an issue. There's no fees anymore, so they just feel like they can park anywhere, and it is an issue. Now, one of the problems is, and I raised this with Travis and Catherine, and Catherine's onto it, and she's spoken to the council, but are they enforcing it? No.
No, sometimes. Like every now and then, I've heard of people getting booked at Mornington, but only because it's such a small area. But not often.
It is an issue, and I think maybe
it is a massive issue.
One of the things we will advocate for at the 2022 Olympics.
Is it the Olympics?
2020. It feels like the Olympics. 2022 election, I meant to say, is that the Victorian Fisheries Authority should take over the land management of all boat ramps in Port Phillip and Western Port. That might change things then. So, all right. Ray writes into us, and this is from last week. I worked in the bait industry for a number of years. On your Ray. Driving is banned on all beaches in Victoria and always has been. Well, I've got news for you, Ray. I'm going to tell you about this in a minute. The Portland Pippy harvesters used quad bikes and trailers and just paid the fines for years. Well, I know that. It was, as the magistrate said, it was part of doing business. He paid. Now, you don't comment on this, Toby. You're not allowed, all right? When
you just quiet down over
when they were threatened with court action, one of the guys built a horse sulky into a Pippy rickshaw. Is that spell check gone wrong, or is that actually something? I don't know. Anyway, because of all the restrictions placed on them, they obviously want as much as possible for their product. The food industry pays more. Well, they're not even getting any from Portland. Food grade mussels are only $6 a kilo and work extremely well using a barbed bait holder hook. That's the secret to stopping the bait bunching up. Thanks, Ray. But can I just point out a couple of things, right? You say, Ray, the Portland, driving is banned on all beaches in Victoria and always has been. I got photos today, right, from people that are holidaying down on Wilson's Prom. And there's a great, and I don't want to stop this, don't get me wrong, but the tour operator down there launches on the beach, big trailer, drives quad bikes down to the boat, and they just take tours out on Wilson's Prom. They're allowed to drive on the beach.
Well, Sandy Point, you can get.
They don't drive on the beach there, do they?
Car access.
But hang on, but Ray said they're not allowed to drive on the beach anyway.
We were there at Christmas. You pay parks, I think it was under parks. You pay them your $5 fee.
And you're allowed to drive on the beach.
You drive right up to where you want to fish, and the kids can swim and launch your boat. Yep.
What about the Pippy fishers? Don't you comment, Toby, and allowed, right? But
pipe down, Toby.
There's only 6 of them. And the Pippy, this is the thing, Ray, the Pippy management plan that was signed by Jarla Pulford in 2019, which is not that long ago, 2 years, says that the Pippy fishers can go onto the beach, and this is how they manage their, getting down to their catch and taking it back to the car park, and then it all fell in a heap because parks decided to fine them. So anyway, I won't go on anymore, but it's wrong. And I did meet with Lisa Neville on it last Wednesday, and it is with the Premier. We need to get Pippies back into Victoria. That's all I'll say. If you'd like to write into Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Now, Cara, I'm going to start at the top. What we're about to talk about now is octopus.
Brilliant. Pickled.
No, don't just pickle them. We want them. There's the list, all right. Octopus. Cara, have you ever eaten octopus?
Eaten, yes. Cooked, no.
Oh. Adam?
I have eaten it.
You've eaten octopus as well? Can you unbutton a couple of things on
your
shirt?
No, I
can't. You got one tattooed on your chest. Let me tell you, not that I see you in the nude very often, but anyway.
Very often.
Remember that time you ironed my shirt?
Good employee,
let's not go there. Toby, octopus.
Yeah,
what?
where to from here?
Octopus. Sure. Is it a big fishery in Victoria?
It's an incredible, cracking little fishery, this one, Dave.
Yeah.
Out mainly in the eastern part of the state. Small scale, close to 60-tonne fishery. Very minimal to no bycatch. a very sustainable practice, and just an awesome product that Cara for your fishing section, and for Adam it's foolproof in terms, put this thing in the pan, flip it around a little bit, out she comes, and beautiful.
Yeah.
We've got a photo here of some octopus that's sold in Victoria.
Yeah, so we've been working closely with John Sussman, the seafood marketing
starfish.
guru.
I know that's the bottom end. I know it's the bottom end, but they look like they got a head on top of them, like you know.
Yeah, so octopus pallidus is the species that we've been catching, or that this fishery is based on. Very sustainable, fast-growing, short life cycle, and it's a shelter pot fishery. So they set out a heap of pots. They're not baited. The pots, they crawl in looking for shelter. The pots are hauled, and up they come.
Really?
And just a really incredible product.
They're not baited.
No. So they're set out on big sand flat areas, not in reefy areas. So they're habitat poor areas. The pots themselves act as shelter. So they crawl in there looking for somewhere to hide.
It's insane, because the only way I've ever heard to catch them is a bit of PVC tube. Just pop that down there and leave it.
Safety zone.
Yep. They just crawl in to chill out. And
really?
Yeah.
Wow. So the life cycle, like, because a squid's
12
months.
Yep.
Yeah. What's an octopus?
Yeah, similar. Couple of years without being a scientist and knowing the complete ins and outs.
And we don't know either, so we'll tell you what.
Tell you whatever you like. But yeah, again, very fast, short life cycle, fast growing, quick turnover, very sustainable fishery.
Incredible creatures.
Oh, awesome.
Incredible creatures.
Yeah. Can we put that photo up again? I don't know if the boys are that technical. So they can do that. Can we put that photo up again? I'm not sure whether we can. You're telling me that's edible?
Oh yeah.
And it's good?
Delicious.
Tender.
So if you bought that, that's obviously packaged by a company there. What are they? I can't quite read
this. This needs to go on Cara's cooking section.
It does. We've added it. Yeah. But are you saying you buy that in the shops and then you just throw it in the pan?
Whack it in the pan.
You don't have. I heard they belt them against a rock for like 3 hours. Don't they?
What, to tenderise them or kill them?
Or to tenderise it. Isn't that what the Greeks traditionally do? They
just flick the whack inside out to kill them.
I thought they whack them against the rocks for 3 hours or something.
Can't say I've heard that.
Have you heard of that, Toby?
Try and dispose of, or humanely.
Yeah, but not for 3 hours.
Give them against rocks, but no, not for 3 hours. No. There's some exciting news coming in this space. So watch this space, but we're working really. Closely to
What's the headline going to be? Octopus tastes good?
Put me on the spot there if you get a good headline.
You rattled him with smacking him on a rock for 3 hours.
Adam, can I just say, you and I are going to the former Greek Prime Minister's house on Saturday night.
We are.
He's great, and we are going to eat octopus
on the menu.
He will have this product.
Really?
Victorian caught, sustainable.
It's beautiful.
Fresh, beautiful product. Get it on your plate. Get it out of the pan.
Try it this Christmas. Add that to the list.
It's on the list.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Have it.
Try it. It's good stuff.
Hopefully working to get this in supermarkets soon. And really expanding and giving this product the credit it deserves. A little bit higher.
All right.
Aldi's a great store.
There's nothing wrong with Aldi. And coming up next, the hotspots. And we're going to talk about scallops after that, next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
The BEAUMARIS Motor Yacht Squadron is a trailer boat and social club on Port Phillip Bay. The club has a great range of facilities, including multiple boat ramps, ample car and trailer parking, boat wash and fish cleaning, fishing competitions and boat safety lectures, boating activities and club events, a restaurant and 2 bars. Easy launch and retrieval makes for a relaxing time on the water for you, your family and friends to enjoy. And boating memberships are now available. The BEAUMARIS Motor Yacht Squadron, the best trailer boat experience on the bay.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots, brought to you by the BEAUMARIS Motor Yacht Squadron, Melbourne's premier trailer boat club.
And welcome back. All right, let's get into the hotspots really quickly because we've got lots to talk about with Toby. I want to talk about scallops in a minute. Indented head. I'm being told there's a year class of 39 pushing 40 centimetre King George whiting at indented head.
Nice.
And they're going great guns there. Get there if you can.
Reckon you
Great
get octopus
food.
there too, I reckon.
I don't reckon you'd get octopus.
I reckon you would.
Why would you bother when you can get whiting? Anyway, the snapper have been fantastic, and we're seeing a few 8 kilos come in every week. The place to get them is 19 metres off Aspendale. That's the next hotspot. All right, let's head over to Western Port. That top end just seems to be doing so well, doesn't it? Yeah, it's the place to go. Eagle Rock this week, they're saying, is a great snapper spot. Also a great song by Daddy Cool back in the 80s. So, Toby would have been playing that.
I actually know that song.
If you're after King George whiting, plenty of them in Western Port. The Fairhaven Channel is fishing.
Fairhaven Channel? Where did you pull that one from?
Yeah, off the map.
I like it.
Steve Johnson. All right.
What is this?
All right. the Broken River, right?
That's not what that says.
No, the Broken River runs through a lovely town that has a population of 22 people. Would anyone like to have a go at saying the name of this town? Because I've actually got it on a cheat sheet here of how to pronounce it.
Uppity Pot Pond? That's what it says!
Hang on, what were you?
You potty pot pond.
Uppity Pot Pond.
Uppity Pot Pond?
Yeah.
Cara?
You potty pot pond.
Ooh, yours sounds better than mine.
Toby, you want to have a go?
I'd go a potty pot pond too.
Oh, you had an accent.
No.
little twang on the end there.
According to, I think it was TripAdvisor, you potty pot pond.
You
potty pot pond.
Like sounds like
if you can get there, the Broken River, I am told by a mate of mine, is going nuts with Murray cod at the moment.
Sounds like you're trying to swear at someone, but you're not allowed to swear.
You potty pot pond. Google it. That's good. We've still got some more to go. Blue Rock Lake. Have a look at this. Get there. Dan and Gippsland. Just a magnificent
Kayaker's dream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bass fishery. Get right up the back of that where the lake runs up to a little creek or whatever it is.
Where the tangent
where it runs in. Absolutely fantastic. Toby, scallops. Now, we wind the clock back to when did lockdown start? Because we had to cancel.
Which one?
Going over to Tasman. It was
March,
about
wasn't it?
number
March?
3 or 4.
Yep.
We ran a big story on this program. In fact, over a series of weeks about scallop pies. We did, but there was a bit of a cook-off, and a Victorian scallop pie came second in the Tasmanian.
Correct.
Did you go? You went that weekend, didn't you?
I didn't quite make it.
You didn't make it. Dallas went.
Dallas made it, and our friends from Country Cob in Kyneton were the bakery. Brought home the silverware.
Yeah, but that was all born out of a big scallop find, I guess, a big scallop bed off Gippsland somewhere. How's that travelling?
Yeah, really good. So for a fair while we've been the poorer cousin, if you like, of the Commonwealth. Scallop fisheries are very natural fluctuations. We just hadn't seen that recruitment in our portion of the stock. It's all the one stock. Finally, we located a really good bed last year on the back of some exploratory fishing. 10 to 12,000 tonne available quality Victorian scallop out there, and this year I think close to 10 fishers have harvested about 600 tonne.
Have they really?
So a really good amount of fresh Victorian scallop that's filled scallop pies right across the state.
I know you say they're one stock, but if you ask the Republic of Tasmania, they would say that...
Republic of
well, no, seriously.
You're on fire tonight.
Because when we wanted, I did a bit of work with Travis and Dallas on this, and when we contacted the person, in fact, we interviewed the guy on 3MP.
We did.
That was running the scallop pie competition, and he said we had to prove that they were Victorian scallops. I think that had to go through a company that was the wholesale. Like, they wanted all this evidence, as if they were different than Tasmanian scallops.
Just filthy. We were going to take it out, Dave. And there was only one that cooked a scallop party pie.
Cara.
Our very own.
We should have done that recipe tonight.
We should have vented ourselves.
Nice.
So, Toby, where have they all gone? Like, I know you can get scallops in Woolies, but you've always been out. Where have they all gone, do you know?
Yeah, they've largely been taken up on the domestic market at your local fishmongers and seafood markets.
Yep.
Aldi.
Aldi.
We had a good discussion about Aldi during the break, didn't we?
And they have made it into a number of bakeries across the state. So scallop pies did happen. And we'll give it another crack. Things are looking really positive again. We've got our surveys coming up soon to have another look at the stock. We set aside half of that whole bed So there's plenty of scallop there, and we're in a really good position to have plenty available for the next year as well.
I think there's a little bit of discussion about having a seafood festival down at Corner Inlet, and the intention would be that if that gets up, there will be a scallop. In fact, the international scallop pie competition will be held.
It would be filthy.
Yeah, no, Tassie are going to be invited, right?
What, to try all
They
those
will need a
pies?
passport to get into Victoria.
They will need to cook Victorian scallops in their pies and prove it.
Yeah, no, don't worry, it's going to be strict. But the intention will be that if there is a seafood festival in Corner Inlet, and our good friends like Luke and Etta, Neville Clark and Bruce Collis, those guys down there, they'll be helping organise all that. But if we can have the international scallop pie competition, and it will be biased, Victoria, I'm sure, will take out the crown. You know, so
you'd hope so.
But,
on home turf, Cara's excited about it.
Well, let's prove we have real beers in the studio.
At least it wasn't me.
It's exciting scallop festivals. It's, it's
and are they one of the greatest seafoods that we've got in Victoria? I mean,
one of our world-class products, alongside your rock lobster, your abalone, your King George whiting, scallop. They're right up there, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say that Victorian scallop, from everything we've heard this year, are the premium products.
So much different than Tasmania. There's so much better here. Hey, Toby, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Dave.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's very fun.
It's kind of been a bit of fun, hasn't it? There you go. That's it for Talking Fishing. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, big show. We have a look at the new Arcadia native fish hatchery. Anthony Forster, who's been managing that Arcadia project, he joins us in the studio. Like I said, a really big show next week. Until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.